This is Hannibal here from the Hannibal TV on YouTube with a daily wrestling news update. Thank you. We've reached over 445,000. Oh my God, maybe my brain is not awake today. 445,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you for that. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Rampage Jackson, who was at UFC 186 in Montreal back in 2015, was apparently denied a border crossing last night for an independent show in Niagara Falls. Sorry to hear about that. Seems like a nice enough guy. And I know in Canada they will deny you for very minor things. Some fans are complaining there was too many commercials during Saturday night's main event last night that featured the main event of I guess, R-Truth against John Cena. Like, was there any surprise that John Cena won that? And then Drew McIntyre against Damian Priest. We knew Drew was injured. He had said before he had been wrestling with injuries, so he lost that one. He's going to be taking time off. Chelsea Green got her nose broken in a defeat from Zelina Vega, who retained the women's U.S. title. Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins were victorious over CM Punk and Sami Zayn, with the returning Bronson Reed rejoining Paul Heyman's little group there. I mean, it's nothing. It's too bad. Like, remember when Hulk Hogan no-showed the last Saturday night main event because suddenly, even though he had been advertised for a long period of time, his son was randomly getting married that day, so he had to no-show. I'm surprised. I'm not really surprised that they didn't use him because he's controversial, but like, there was way more talk about the Saturday night main event when Hulk Hogan was going to appear on it. Then, like this last one, it didn't seem there was much buzz at all. And yeah, Cody Rhodes interfered for Jey Uso defeating Logan Paul, which was not a match I cared much for either. And I'm not to be negative. I'm just speaking the truth. Did Rampage Jackson get permissions from Hands of Stone, Rugged Ronnie Garvin to enter Canada? You know, maybe that was the issue. And the bigger question is, who could punch harder, Rampage Jackson or the Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin? Both AEW and NXT have pay-per-views on tonight. The NXT pay-per-view is also coming from Tampa, where SmackDown was, as well as Saturday night main event last night. NXT was supposed to do a taping this Tuesday as well in Canada. However, unfortunately, they didn't sell enough tickets in Tampa. I mean, if I said Canada, it's because I'm still recovering from a very, very long plane trip, so you'll have to excuse me. Back here in Wichita, Kansas, after going all the way to Kelowna, BC for about a week. But yeah, let's just take a quick look here on what I was talking about with my subscribers. Which, by the way, Deontay Wilder has a fight coming up here next month in Wichita, and PFL is also coming here next month. So I'm going to try and attend both of those. But yeah, we have 445,000 subscribers plus on this channel. So I thank everyone for subscribing. And I'm going to be working on a bunch of new interviews. I was just talking to someone about getting Paul Ellering on. Why was Rampage not allowed in Canada? I don't know because, again, 10 years ago, UFC got him in for the UFC in Montreal. I remember a bunch of my friends attended that, and he was victorious in that UFC. Will the NXT pay-per-view be on Peacock or Netflix? It depends what country you're in. I think if you live in Canada, I think it will be on Netflix. If you live in the U.S., likely not. If you live in the U.S., you pretty much only get Raw on Netflix and a bunch of crappy old WWE shows. Like there's nothing really good. If you're not interested in Raw, you don't get the pay-per-views or anything in the US from my experience. I have watched a few things on the WWE Vault YouTube channel lately, some rare footage of Andre the Giant, a biography on Yokozuna, which I actually found more entertaining than anything I've seen on WWE Netflix. And the other thing is, for the people complaining about Saturday Night Main Event having too many ads, I would rather watch stuff on YouTube where I have YouTube Premium and don't have to watch the ads, because if you pay for Netflix here in the US and you watch Raw, you still get the ads. But if you just watch the Raw highlights on YouTube and you have YouTube Premium, which costs practically nothing, you don't have to watch the ads. Yeah, so Tom, I think you would need Peacock. Pretty sure you would need Peacock, because I have not been able to watch any of the WWE pay-per-views on Netflix here. And I think that's just due to their deals that they have. I mean, I don't think Peacock's available in Canada. Did I ever wrestle Yokozuna? No, but I believe in the later matches where I wrestled Abdullah the Butcher, I know he's lost some weight now, but he was pretty damn close to 500 pounds around 2007 when I was working with him. And yeah, he was very hard to move around, to say the least. I did my best to make him look good. I think Abdullah is harder to slam because Yokozuna was a better athlete and more cooperative. Abdullah will pull out a card that says he's a world karate champion or some bullshit, but there's absolutely no record of him. Put it this way, he will tell you, and if you actually research his career, he was like wrestling professionally very early on, like late teens, early 20s. But he'll somehow tell you in an era when you wrestled 7 days a week, he somehow had time to get his 7th degree black belt, because he'll tell you he's a 7th degree black belt. But that's the extent of his martial arts moves. He'll do that stupid neck thrust. I don't know how Abdullah. Someone. He said he can't read. Is that a lie? Yes, because he is on record in one of his biographies saying he went to school until he was 16 and got booted out of school when he was 16. You learn how to read by the time you're 16. He operated 3 restaurants minimum. He owned properties all over Atlanta. He was married to a very intelligent wife that sadly, apparently, from what I understand, he cheated on with the one that he's with now, which he has not been doing as good with. But yeah, I would say for sure that Yokozuna would be easier to work with than Abdullah the Butcher. Yeah, he can read a menu, and I mean, this is only something he's just started talking about. Just like him saying he's poor. He's not poor. He's one of the first Japanese wrestlers that was making in the $10,000 a week back in like the 70s. And he wrestled a very long career and was one of the highest paid stars of his era. He was one of the top earners of his era. That's 100%. You can't believe anything the guy says. He's a worker. I will give him this. He's a Hall of Fame level worker. I'll give him that 100%. To convince people that he's actually some type of a martial artist, yet never display anything but this stupid neck thrust, which, do they even teach you that in karate school? Who knows? Where did his money go? Exactly. I mean, let's take a look at it. He's not a drinker. Where I don't know where his money would have gone. Where would his money would have gone? All I can tell you is he would have been paid cash most of his career, other than the times that he was working for like WCW. And even now, it's mostly cash when he's paid by autograph agents. for the autograph appearances that he does all the time. So it's very hard to track how much people earn when they earn cash. But speaking of Abdullah, he's from Atlanta. I'm actually going to Atlanta next month on a little bit of business, including seeing a doctor there about something. Someone says, have I ever heard of Outlaw Wrestling? Outlaw Wrestling, I'd go, maybe if it's the name of a federation, but I think Outlaw Wrestling was what they used to call the independents in the territorial days. They used to call it Outlaw Wrestling. Now they're called independents, but there might be a federation called Outlaw Wrestling. I don't know. Tom, no, Abdullah never stayed in a territory for a long period of time because there's only so long you could do that gimmick without it getting old. One of the main territories, though, that he lasted in for decades was Montreal territory, which I think one of the first over 30,000 crowds was him in Jerry Park in the 70s wrestling. So he was one of the highest paid wrestlers of the Montreal territory, too, which he continued to wrestle in Montreal. He had his retirement match in Montreal against me, where I defeated him in 2009 before a packed house. And I know he made several $1,000s for that, just for his payoff, not including his autographs. And he'd been wrestling in Montreal for the 60s. So, I mean, this is not a poor guy. It's a guy that's carny and is good with hiding money. I'm not that familiar with him. Tom, yeah, I think Abdullah was Bruiser Brody's best opponent. I'll give him that. But I got to get off to the gym. Got to go pump some iron. I had 2 workouts yesterday. I'm going to get 2 workouts in today. Wish everyone a good day, and I'll be back later tonight if there's more news. Have a great one. Please give this video a like.